When it comes to India, for Prime Minister Modi, it's India first. What Vladimir Putin In America, so many people carry weapons, it's crazy. So many people on drugs, it's crazy. And mass shootings. Russia says, okay, we don't want to get directly involved in this conflict, but hey, we have this Wagner group. You remember the same guys who wanted to take over? Yeah, they want to take over Russia. Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Today, before I start, I'd like to pay homage to the former CDS, General Bipin Rawat. I think he was an extremely fine human being, an officer and a gentleman. And whenever I met him, it was always like a blessing. Sir, today, we miss you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the news of the day, Christopher A Wray, who's the director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Director FBI is visiting India between 11th and 12th December. And he's going to engage with top officials from all central intelligence agencies like the IB, Enforcement Directorate, NIA, maybe RNAW, I don't know, maybe. And also the Ministry of Home Affairs. And Ray's upcoming visit to India takes on a heightened significance as this is the first trip since assuming office in 2017. So, Christopher Wray assumed office in 2017 and this is his first visit to India, and also it's going to be a first visit by an FBI director in the past 12 years. So it was 12 years before that an FBI director visited India. Now after 12 years, another one is visiting India. So there is going to be a FBI legal team, the US Embassy personnel and national security law enforcement officials. And I think they're going to discuss a lot of stuff, right? But I also think that this is a move by which America seeks to downplay things a little. And I'm telling you why I believe so. Let me tell you why I believe so. See, with this whole thing about people trying to kill Panu. So, it's not very difficult to kill Panu, first of all. I don't know why so much fuss is being made. I don't think India wants to kill Panu. And I'm being as honest as I can. If we wanted Panu dead, Panu would be dead. In America, so many people carry weapons, it's crazy. So many people on drugs, it's crazy. And mass shootings. There are so many deaths in America because of gun violence. It's extremely common. In every neighborhood in America, you hear stories about gun violence and people getting killed, etc. It's out of control in America. In such a situation, how difficult can it be for someone to knock off Gurpatwant Singh Pannu? But the thing is that we do not wish to do that. We do not want to do that. Now, Christopher A Wray, Director FBI coming to India, will also be how both agencies can partner with each other. The Intelligence Bureau on one side and the FBI on the other side. Intelligence Bureau is the domestic intelligence agency in India and the FBI is the domestic intelligence agency in the United States of America. Now, this comes in the background of Gurpatwant Singh Pannu making, or actually giving threats which are of a very serious nature. You see, Hindus have been targeted in America, in Canada, worldwide. And they've been targeted by the Khalistanis. Also, temples have been defaced. And this is one thing. But when you threaten to blow up airlines, right? So, hate speech is one thing. And there are a lot of countries that say, no, it's freedom of speech. Okay, all right. But when you threaten to blow up airplanes in the air, when you threaten to disrupt a major sporting tournament like the World Cup, when you say that I will attack the Indian Parliament, right? Then that is not fine. Then that is not okay. And you see what has happened in this regard is the NIA has collected a lot of proof and they're saying that usually officials of the NIA and Central Intelligence Agency meet the FBI's legal attaché to discuss their cases and criminals. This is the first time that they are going to present all the evidence and cases before the FBI director. So, especially in the case of Khalistanis, they've prepared an extensive dossier and the FBI director is going to be here in India and these guys are going to present to him and tell him that, okay, Mr. Christopher Wray, here is the evidence that we want to place in front of you. And what do you think of this evidence? Because, you see, from your soil, the important thing is, from your soil, somebody is making threats to the Indian Parliament. From your soil, somebody's doing all of this and threatening terror upon Indians. Now, this whole plane thing, that Air India will not fly and there'll be some harm to Air India. All this is reminiscent of the fact that Kanishka was bombed and more than 350 people died here. Most of them Canadian citizens, by the way. Of Indian origin maybe, but Canadians nonetheless. And this is what happened. So, it's all happened in the past, which is why India wants to bring it to the notice of Christopher A, Director FBI, and they will present their case. And let's see how it is taken forward. The second thing is that there was some discussion in the Indian Parliament, and Union Minister of External Affairs S. Jaishankar on Thursday spoke in Parliament on the inputs provided by the United States in the alleged plot to kill Khalistani terrorist Gurpatan Singh Panu on US soil. India has decided to institute an inquiry into the matter as it relates to national security. The minister, however, ruled out possibility of any equitable treatment. Now, here, this is what it is. He ruled out the possibility of any equitable treatment to the allegations raised by Canada in the murder of another Khalistani terrorist, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, in Ottawa. And Jaishankar also explained why the government is not treating the two cases alike. And the Canadian authorities, he said that the Canadian authorities failed to provide any proof at all. I mean, this guy, Justin Trudeau, just went on the floor of the parliament and he said, the Indians have knocked off Nijjar. Just believe me, because I'm white and I'm wealthy and I'm from the West. That's it. There is no other logic to give. And Dr. Jaishankar said that the US shared certain inputs with India as part of a bilateral security cooperation. So, because it has a bearing on our own national security, here it is, because this has a bearing on our own national security, it was decided to institute an inquiry into the matter, and an inquiry committee has been constituted. Right? Now, coming to the third news of the day, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is Vladimir Putin, President of Russia, praises Prime Minister Modi, and he says that Modi is the guarantor of strong ties between Russia and, India. And what he was trying to imply is that, because he also said that, Prime Minister Modi is not a guy that you can pressurize or you can intimidate. He used the word intimidate, and he says he's not a guy you can pressurize or intimidate. He's not a person whom you can say that, do this or do that. He will take decisions based on India's best interests. He will say that, India's best interests are here, and he doesn't care of the world that way. When it comes to India, for Prime Minister Modi, it's India first. That is what Vladimir Putin says. And I think he's also hinting, and this is what the newspaper article mentions as well, that he was hinting at the fact that the world told India, the Western world especially the United States of America, said, listen, you can't buy oil from Russia. And India said, we will. They also said you can't buy S-400 air defense missiles from Russia, and India said we will. In the past, India has bought oil from Iran, and India will continuously keep on doing what is in the best interests of Indians. And ladies and gentlemen, here is a terrifying threat from the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. And he has very openly said to the Hezbollah that if you try anything funny with Israel, if you try to attack Israel, if you try to take any aggressive posture against Israel, Beirut will meet the same fate as Gaza or Khan Yunis. Both these places have been flattened. Essentially, what Benjamin Netanyahu is telling the Hezbollah people is that we'll turn Beirut into a parking lot. And why he's saying that, I'll also tell you. Recently, there was a news which we also covered, that the Wagner group of Russia, this is very interesting, this correlation, the Wagner group of Russia, ladies and gentlemen, actually started supplying air defense equipment, or started actually operating air defense equipment for the Hezbollah. What they did was that they said, okay, Israel is able to bomb Gaza because Hamas does not have air defense cover. Right? Israeli planes can fly over Gaza or Palestine at will, bomb at will, and go back. And there is nothing that the Hamas can do about it. And there is nothing that the Hezbollah can do about it either. But what they did was, this is a whole circle. So, Hezbollah speaks to Iran, because Iran created the Hezbollah. Hezbollah speaks to Iran saying that, a similar fate awaits us and we need your help. So, they say, okay, no problem. We'll speak to Chinese. So they speak to the Chinese, who speak to the Russians. Hezbollah, Iran, China, Russia. And Russia says, okay, we don't want to get directly involved in this conflict, but hey, we have this Wagner group. You remember the same guys who wanted to take over? Yeah, they wanted to take over Russia. They wanted to remove Vladimir Putin. The same guys. Now that Prigozhin, the leader, is dead, and I think Prigozhin's son is running the Wagner group, and he's more loyal than his father. So what they've done is that they've said, okay, place the Wagner group here in Hezbollah-controlled territories, give them surface-to-air missiles or SAMs, and whenever the Israeli jets come, the SAMs take off. Now, which means that Israel will face difficulties in bombing Hezbollah targets. Now, I'm not saying it's an impossibility because SAMs are everywhere. It's just that Hamas is stupid. Hamas does not have any SAMs. But generally, all the forces everywhere in the world, even terrorist armies, have had some degree of... In fact, America gave SAMs to the Afghan Mujahideen. Yeah? They gave Stinger missiles and they gave them back in the 80s. It's not like variants are not available in the market, especially Russian variants. So, you know, what they're going to do is the Wagner group comprises also, apart from criminals, it also has a lot of veterans of the Russian army, people from special forces, people from the armored corps, the infantry, etc., etc. So, the Wagner group comes here, they come to Hezbollah territories, they carry SAMs with them, they sort of, they get the SAMs ready and they're waiting. And so the way a SAM functions is that when a plane is flying, let's say an Israeli plane is flying, so the radar is going to catch the signature of the Israeli plane. It could be an electronic signature or a heat signature from the afterburners or, that engine, etc. So it catches on as soon as it locks onto that plane. So there is a thing called IFF, ladies and gentlemen, which everybody does. We also did it in the army. IFF is identification friend or foe. So at that height, at 40,000 feet, it's very difficult to make out whether this aircraft is actually, some other country or Israel or what. Then IFF happens, right? Identification friend or foe. There is very little chance of any other country's aircraft being on Lebanese airspace. But I'm just talking about the procedure here. And once that is established that it's foe, not friend, then the missiles take off. And then they try and shoot down the plane. Now, that is clearly not happening here. In this case, I don't know, because even after the said deployment, Israel has hammered Hezbollah targets. So I don't know why they're not activating the SAMs. I hope they do not, because then this war will go out of control. Then other players will be forced to take sides, right? India has always maintained a neutral stand, but, an Israeli, heaven forbid, if anything bad happens to an Israeli aircraft, then there's going to be hell to pay, ladies and gentlemen. In another news, ex-foreign minister Qin Gang, he's China's ex-foreign minister. He's dead due to suicide or torture, they don't know what. And reports suggest that China's former foreign minister Qin Gang, who was ousted in July, has died under unclear circumstances, with speculation ranging from suicide to torture. According to a report, 2 people with access to top Chinese officials have claimed that Qin died in late July at a military hospital in Beijing. All right. So this is not a December death. This is a July death, but it's coming to the fore right now. It's only now that people have started understanding that, hey, Qin Gang is dead. Now, why do we say former foreign minister? What did he do? So essentially, the Wall Street Journal reported that while Qin had an extramarital affair while he was ambassador to the United States. Now, I think this poor guy was possibly honey-trapped or something. I don't know. I don't know the inside story, but it was probably a TV anchor or somebody. Now, this guy, when he was ambassador, he had an affair. And then this guy, as foreign minister, disappeared for a month. He was gallivanting somewhere with his girlfriend. And he was nowhere to be found. He was there somewhere, roaming around with this woman. And after which, he came back. He was removed. Somebody else was put again as foreign minister. And then it seems that this guy died in a hospital suddenly under mysterious circumstances. We don't know what the circumstances are or were, but Qin Gang is dead. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.